I'm doing a reading here for someone who, I don't know, you have a heart of gold, but you're currently going through a really tough season. I have diamond radiance in your heart chakra, clarified by lotus resurrection. I haven't laid out the rest of the cards yet, but so far I can see that your heart is going through a test. This is a test between you and you. You are questioning your resilience. You are waiting for clarity. You feel like your heart could harden under these circumstances, okay? But I'm actually also here to tell you that with the heart, we look at the heart as what you're attracting, not just what you're feeling, but what you're attracting, because it's both at the same time. Okay, and what you're attracting into your life is a resilience. What you're attracting is clarity. And so you have clarity incoming. Something is going to come into your life that is going to feel like a gift that you have earned, okay? And it's going to clarify a lot of things that have recently come into question for you, okay? And, when you look at this lotus and resurrection, this lotus represents for me something that sprouts out of murky waters, but something beautiful, okay? It's also a sign of resilience. And so even though in this moment you may feel like your heart could harden, you may not feel strong, you are building that strength in your heart. I can feel it in my heart right now, this a burning, okay? So I can feel that things are not easy right now, especially in your heart, okay? And so that's why I'm sharing this reading with you. I've gone straight to the sacral chakra because I want to know what's coming through in your life, and I've got owl intuition. And so that speaks to the clarity that you're attracting. And so right now, things feel very unclear, but they're saying that your intuition is about to sharpen, become clearer. You're going to have a higher perspective on what exactly is going on in your field, in your world, okay? For clarity, I have volcano release, which is speaking to me around like what you've been feeling in your heart. And it's sort of creating a struggle in terms of access to your clarity and your intuition. And I've got river flow as clarity. And so there is a release coming, okay? There's the release of flow that's coming into your life. That's going to, I'm finding it even hard to put this into words, okay? Because this level of release is something that I feel like you've experienced before, but you feel like you are at a distance from. Okay, this type of clarity, this type of flow that you've experienced before and really yearn to touch again. They're saying that that's building up inside of you, especially now that you're going through this intense darkness. Okay, but they're saying that that release is coming, that flow is coming in. I'm not going to lie to you, this feels like a painful experience. It feels like a rebirth of sorts. And that's telling me that something in your life is dying. Something is dying, okay? And it may feel like it's manifesting externally, but it is reflected within you as something internal. Something that has needed to die for some time now. Okay, so what I mean is that there is something in your outside world that is dying, that is causing you pain. However, internally, there is an aspect of you that has been holding you back, that is in the process of dying. It is something that tends to block you from seeing clearly through your intuition. It is something to do with a conditioning, okay? It's as if there are certain things that you fear feeling. I do sense here that there is a fear of failure that you are currently processing. The fear of failure is not something that you used to experience in the past. It's something that was projected onto you along the way, and the way you processed it was through things that you used to do for other people while you used to sort of, it was a way that you kind of turned to creating joy. Okay, so you used to define joy through other people. You used to understand joy in your life through other people. I'm trying to just clarify what this means. It's a form of people pleasing. And it's not because you did that out of survival. You kind of, somewhere along the way, met some people, went through some stuff where they convinced you that true joy was through pleasing them. And so then you began to feel like, become conditioned to do that. And so you are currently in the process of unconditioning yourself out of that. Okay? And so right now you're kind of not able to see clearly because of these things that are happening around you. Okay? And so you're going through some form of like it's a resurrection. It's a resurrection. You're in the form of you're coming to me in like a burning fire. I'm actually seeing you I'm seeing you as a burning fire, and I do see a phoenix rising. Okay? And I'm starting to see clearer myself right now. I do see a phoenix rising, and so I understand that you're going through a painful experience right now, but they're saying to let it burn. And they're saying with that burning, allow everything that holds you back to die. Allow everything where if you find yourself blaming someone else, and I'm going to just speak directly through this because I don't want to lose this touch that I've got, that I'm feeling right now. Wherever you feel like you're blaming someone else for anything, or relinquishing your responsibility, even things that you think may not be your responsibility in your life, not other people's lives, in your own life. They're saying, look at those things. Take responsibility for those things. Okay? Because you'll find that those are the things that you want to change. They're saying that there are things in your life that you want to see a change in. However, there are aspects of those things where you feel like, yeah, but that could be someone else's fault and someone else's problem and someone else's responsibility. And they're saying, no, take ownership of those things. Okay, because if you care about those things, then that means they are yours. And so take ownership of those things, because those are the things you care so much about that your heart is going to be, it's like the easiest path to correction, because those are the things your heart wants to repair. And so those are the things you care about the most. So those are the things that your heart connects the easiest to in terms of repairing. So take ownership over those things, because the things that are in your heart are going to be the things that are easiest for you to correct, things that are in your power to correct, if you understand what I mean. So they're saying don't take stuff that you care about and relinquish responsibility around anything to do with that. This is a form of protecting the things that you care about. So you're in the process of turning things around. What they're showing me is someone else in your surrounds convincing you that what they need matters. Okay? And you caring so much about them that you make what they want to happen. And so they're saying that you're turning this around. You are now your own other person. And they're saying you are now ensuring that you make yourself happy through making the things that you want to happen. So you are becoming the most important thing here, the responsible party in your own life. And so that's why they want you, and I'm just going to repeat this once more because it feels murky. It feels not blurry. It feels like it's easy to confuse this matter. They are saying, yes, there are things that have been done to you, but they are saying, if there are things in your life that you want to set right, take ownership over those things. Even where you've had interference, take ownership over those things. They are yours. I've moved to your third eye, and I have oak tree ancestors and dandelion healing. Okay? What I'm seeing here is ancestral healing. I'm seeing the healing of generational patterns, generational curses. Okay, so I'm speaking to someone who of late has been reflecting on mistakes, is what I'm going to call it. Let's put that in inverted commas. Mistakes of the past, mistakes of those that came before you, things that they did wrong, things that went wrong in their lives that you see playing out in your life. And so they're saying, we are our own ancestors, is firstly what they're saying. Okay, this is in theory a lot of things that you know, but they are spelling it out right now. And they are saying that the reason why this particular stretch of your journey feels so intense is because you are in the process of healing this. You are in the process of correcting this. This idea that something is not yours to fix, that something is not yours to repair. And they are saying that with great power comes great responsibility. And they are saying that that's why you are so powerful. That's why you are so powerful. You've been asking yourself, why have I been given so much power, yet I don't feel able to wield it? I don't feel like it's under my control. They are saying it is under your control. They are saying that it's that thing that you sometimes do where you say something is not your fault. Okay, it's not your fault, but they're saying where something is not your fault, therefore it is not your responsibility. They are saying that will make all the difference. Something about how I started the spread and how I'm laying the cards out, and again you can see them all, but I've started with all the feminine chakras. I started with the heart, and then the sacral chakra, and then the third eye. And so now I'm moving to the masculine chakras, which are all the ones in between and on the outside. But I feel like this is where we decide how we're going to take action, where we're going to take control, what is actually happening with the masculine structures and way of life in our lives right now. In your crown, I have apple tree abundance and I have crystal quartz focus. Okay, so this is like right now you have a razor sharp focus on your abundance. This feels like, where is it? All of that. And they're saying we are correcting the scarcity mindset. We are correcting it. Look at this tree, it's producing more and more apples, and there are lots of apples and more apples are going to grow. And so they're saying that it's very important right now what you believe about this. They're saying it's very important right now what you believe about this. And so you need to focus on the fact that you are powerful, and you need to focus on the fact that there will always be more. If you believe that there is more, okay? They're saying it's also irrational to believe that there isn't more. They're also showing me you've been able to sustain others through your energy. You've been able to sustain other people's needs through your energy, through your resources. Okay, so they're saying that it's irrational to believe that you do not have access to those resources. And they're saying that it's important to focus on the idea of the source of this abundance. Okay, because you're an abundant person, but now you're wanting to see this play out in your own life. Okay, you almost want to see, that focus you used to have on other people and how they flourish right in front of you. They want you to have that focus on yourself. And I'm seeing a link between this crystal quartz and the diamond. And so the crystal quartz is in clarity in your crown and the diamond is in your heart. They are saying focus on what's in your heart. Okay, that's what you're creating right now. Focus on what's in your heart, what it wants, okay, and what your heart says. All of those things. They're showing me your life. They're showing me people raising their hands for help, whatever. And so it doesn't seem literal. Someone raises their hand for help and then you come to the rescue. Okay, whether that's a phone call, whether that's for advice, whether that is just something you observe and you're like, I can help because you have the capacity. Yes, you do have the capacity. Okay, but you keep relinquishing your capacity. You keep giving your capacity away. They're saying it's time for you now. It's time to look around at your world and how easily people are able to receive from you, how easily people are able to take from you. Okay, you need to approach your own life with that kind of ease. You need to start taking your own time, taking your own calls, taking your own advice. Okay, using your own resources on you is what they're saying. This idea of saying yes to yourself more and no to others more. They're saying it's time to take your power back. And this word power, as it came out, I'm seeing it almost like, usually we use the word power for strength. We think of take your power back in terms of your strength back. Here, they're referring to your energy, your power, the stuff that turns the lights on in your house, the stuff that, your power. Okay? Here in your throat chakra, I have jasmine sensuality and desert thirst. Immediately, jasmine told me about your senses. What are you feeling? They're saying to start acting according to how you're feeling. What are you thirsty for? What do you want? What do you need? What do you need? And so now your actions need to start corresponding with your needs. I couldn't make this spread up. In your solar plexus being the chakra of where we show up. It's our life force energy. And here I have water, lifeblood. This is your lifeblood. You are going to be showing up. You're going to be showing up for yourself. You are going to be ensuring that you get what you need through your actions. Every forward movement of yours is going to be based on what you know you need. Okay? And before I laid this card out, there was something around tough love, and they were saying it's also a time for tough love, on yourself. Okay, so sometimes we find it difficult to apply tough love to others, and they're saying to yourself as well. So this is, what does your heart want and what do you need? Okay, because there's the heart and then there's also the self. What does the heart want? What does the heart feel? And what do you need? Rather than doing things that can tend to be based on what others feel, that can tend to then compromise you and then result in you feeling worse. So they are talking about care here. They are talking about caring for yourself and how sometimes caring for yourself is sometimes being strict with yourself about certain things and not falling into old habits according to certain things, and the way you sometimes make, let's say, your short-term decisions. And given that we're talking about the masculine aspect here, I'm considering how the masculine aspect is that of protection, the way a father would protect their child. That protection is not about what the child wants. That protection is about what the child needs. And so they want you to look at yourself and your needs in that way. In your root chakra, I have wind movement number 44 in reverse. There are a number of things that are happening here for me. The 44 looks like 4 is around a meditation, a consideration, that kind of thing. And when I see it doubled, I'm seeing the 11 Diamond Radiance card. When I see wind movement in reverse, I'm seeing an unwavering energy. Okay, so rather than wind making things wave around and move around, I'm seeing not necessarily the opposite, but like the sense of being unwavering. Okay, so what they're saying is you are going to be acknowledging how you feel, but not allowing how you feel to determine almost like your routine, your sense of stability. And so they're saying you're not going to allow this thing to continue, this direct link between how you are feeling that day and how you show up that day. Okay, so for example, when you are feeling down, you show up down. You know, like when you don't feel like getting out of bed, and you know you need to get out of bed to get rid of that feeling of not wanting to get out of bed, you are going to get out of bed. That's how they're putting it. That's how they're putting it. They're saying sometimes what you feel like you want to do in the moment is not the best thing for you, excuse me. And so they're saying there's a commitment being born here. There is a commitment to your needs, your ultimate needs being born here. And that's taking me back to Diamond Radiance in your heart. This is the resilience that's being born. This is the Phoenix rising. This is you doing what you need to do for your life and giving back to yourself once and for all and finally. And this is what has been blocking your intuition. And I saw 222 on the clock. This is what has been blocking your intuition. Okay, 2 is also the number of the High Priestess. I'm sorry, I saw that 222 spoke to me loud. Okay, and so it's taking me to the owl, and it's taking me to what I said about this intuition, the clarity that is coming through. What's been blocking your intuition is this avoidance of what your intuition has been telling you, because it's been telling you this. But it asks a lot of you. That's how you feel. You feel like it asks a lot of you. And they're saying there is no failure here. They're saying there is no failure here. The idea of failure is like, it's a feeling. It is what happens when you decide that it's the end. Okay, because what they're showing me is to commit to yourself, and they're showing me also like this unlinking of the idea that all you need to do is do something once, and then if it doesn't work that one time, you give up. No, they're saying that's not how it works. They're showing me new habits. They're showing me new habits, and then you being able to actually see the fruit of your new habits. They're also showing me a channel opening. It's like you're going to unblock this thing, and this channel is going to open. In your root chakra, I also have, for clarity, cedar tree wisdom. They're showing me a steadiness, okay, a reliability. This idea of remaining in one place and watching how things change as you remain steady and rooted in one place. They're showing me somebody who sometimes when they get itchy, they move. Okay, they remove themselves. They run, let's say. They avoid what's going on in that place. And what they're avoiding can tend to follow them to the next place. And here, so they're saying, change is a good thing. Change can be difficult, but change is a good thing. But it's about the wisdom of knowing the difference between changing where you are and changing what you do. And so this is a time in your life of staying where you are and observing what changes. I'm going to leave this reading here. Thank you all for being here with me. Sending you all so much love.